So, in cytoplasm is the fluid that fills the space between the nucleus and the cell membrane. The fluid portion, excluding the organelles, is called cytosol and consists mostly of water. This water, it is important. Why? Because many chemical reactions occur in the cytoplasm where water acts as an important solvent. Okay?
Yes.
Now, what is the nucleus? What is the function of the nucleus? Yalla, Abdul Aziz.
Yes, Miss.
Yalla, Abdul Aziz. What is the function of the nucleus?
It stores genetic information which enclosed
Enclosed
in a double membrane called the nuclear
nuclear
envelope.
envelope. So the main function of the DNA, or the nucleus stores the genetic information, the DNA. The DNA is the genome of your traits. Your traits that you have are all stored in the encoded in the DNA, and the nucleus is the organelle which stores the genetic information. You should know that it has a double membrane, which is called a nuclear envelope, and we said it has pores that allow large molecules to pass between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. These are the pores here, and also the nucleus contains the nucleolus. Why? What's the function of a nucleolus, guys? What is the function of a nucleolus? Yes, Tadil.
The function
Nucleolus.
of what? The nucleus?
Nucleolus.
Mm. Where essential for making. Okay, so it makes protein. Essential for making proteins are assembled. Assembled.
What are the organelles that important or responsible for making protein? هلا
And
nucleus,
known as
the
ribosomes.
nucleolus doesn't make the protein. What does the nucleolus make, يا نجين?
Ribosomes.
It makes ribosomes.
Ribosomes. These are the organelles that are responsible to make the protein. They make the ribosome, then the ribosome will go out from the pores to the cytoplasm where the proteins are assembled. The proteins are not made inside the nucleus. They will be made outside the nucleus. Okay, but the ribosomes are the protein factories.
بس أنا مو فاهمة يعني من الرايبوسومز هو اللي جاب البروتين؟
الريبوسومز they are the protein factories. Yes.
Okay.
هلا endoplasmic reticulum we have smooth and rough endoplasmic reticulum, and these endoplasmic reticulum they are a folded membrane, network of folded membrane, and it is the site of protein and lipid production. Okay. Now we say we have rough, where the ribosomes, when the ribosomes go out from the nucleus, some of them will be suspended in the cytoplasm and some will be studded on the endoplasmic reticulum. عشان هيك we call it rough endoplasmic reticulum, where the protein synthesis will happen here. Okay, and the protein that synthesized by the ribosomes will be transported through this endoplasmic reticulum maze. The rough endoplasmic reticulum maze, and the smooth endoplasmic reticulum also it is important for producing lipids, synthesizing of lipids. Okay. All right. We have now, so the ribosomes are tiny organelles that link amino acids to form proteins. This is very important. How are nucleus and vesicle similar and different in structure and function? We discussed this before. Both of them, they carry transport material. They don't transport, sorry. Both are store separate certain materials, okay? And the difference between them in the nucleus is permanent. It doesn't destroy it, but the vesicle, when the material go out from it, it will be destroyed by the lysosome. This is the difference. Golgi apparatus. Now, from endoplasmic reticulum, proteins generally move to the Golgi apparatus, where proteins are processed, sorted, delivered, and packaged. Okay? Yes, Abdullah. Any question, Abdullah?
Yes.
No.
طيب what is the mitochondrial function يا سلطان؟
Supply energy to the cells.
بالظبط. We said إنه all the breaking down parts, units of the food you eat will enter the blood. من the blood it will go to the cell. In the cell, these carbon-based molecules will be broken down to supply energy. Mean responsible to supply this energy is mitochondria. And it has two membranes. It has its own DNA and ribosomes. Okay? So, in mitochondria, how does it supply energy? Within these inner folds and compartments, a series of chemical reactions convert molecules from food you eat into usable energy. Well, now this usable energy will be carried later by ATP after breaking down of the bonds between the atoms. Clear? Okay, vacuoles. We said the vacuoles, we have in plant and animal cells vacuoles, both of them. But in the plant cells, we have central vacuole, large one, because it store more materials like water and food. But animal cells, they don't need big vacuoles, small vacuoles, because we don't store a lot of water and food. Yes, yeah. Who want to ask? Yes, لا, Murad. Yes, Murad.
اسمع عندي سؤال.
Who has a question? Murad وعبد العزيز. You have a question, عبد العزيز?
لا لسه كنت أحكي عن اللايزوزومز كمان.
يلا lysosomes. Tell me about lysosomes. Yes. Where do we find them? Animal ولا plant cell?
إيش اسمه؟ البكتيريا؟
No. Bacteria is prokaryotic.
في
Animal cell ولا plant cell?
animal cells.
صح. Plant cells, they don't have lysosomes. Lysosomes, they have enzymes to digest material. If anything invade the cell, like bacteria, viruses, lysosome will destroy it. If any waste or worn up cell parts that the cell don't need, okay, they will be damaged by the lysosomes. Okay? تمام. هلا the most important thing here عندي إنه plant they have chloroplast extra organelles, chloroplast, they have cell wall and central vacuole. The chloroplast converts solar energy to chemical energy through photosynthesis, and they have a cell wall for more protection, and then cell walls for more protection, chloroplast, and we said central vacuole for storage. We said central vacuole before. Okay, here are summary for each one function, and here are the figures. Okay, and here is the answer of all the questions in the book. Please read from the book and then review from the summary sheet. Now let's go to section 3, the cell membrane. Cell membrane, we said, what is the main function of cell membrane, guys? We remember. Yalla, yeah. Okay, let me review it quickly. Murad, yalla Murad.
It's act as a barrier between the inner and the outer.
Bravo. Okay. Sadil, yes, Sadil.
Miss, I was going to say the same thing.
Okay, no problem. Cell membranes are composed of two phospholipid layers, we said, and احنا قلنا الphospholipid is made of head and tail. Which is polar, head or tail? Quickly.
I think head.
Yes, head is polar with tail is non-polar because it's made of fatty acids. هدول two layers. The cell membrane has two major functions. First, it forms boundary between the inside and outside, and it controls passage of material according to the need of the cell. Okay. Now we have other made of phospholipid and also other molecules, which are proteins, cholesterol, and carbohydrate chain. And this structure was described as fluid mosaic model. This describes the membrane. Okay, why we say fluid? Because the membrane touches the, this is the fluid mosaic model, which describes the arrangement of the molecules that make up a cell membrane. This model of cell membrane structure takes its name from two characteristics. Why they call it this way? Because first, the cell membrane is flexible, not rigid. The phospholipids in each layer can move from side to side. The second reason why they name it in this name, the variety of molecules studying the membrane is similar to the arrangement of colorful tiles with different texture. Okay? Hella. We said also here that, because the membrane touches the cytoplasm inside the cell and the watery fluid outside the cell, the properties of the polar heads, okay, give the membrane this arrangement like a sandwich, because head will be facing the watery fluid from outside and inside of the cell. Okay, they will arrangements in this layer like a sandwich. Now, what are the functions of each molecule on the cell membrane? First of all, the cholesterol. The cholesterol molecules strengthen the cell membrane. Proteins, they extend through one or both phospholipid layers and help materials cross the membrane. So as we said, transport proteins. Yes, yeah. Who's asking? Iyad. Yes, Iyad, please.
لا بس ما عندي سؤال بس كنت أجاوب.
Okay. أنا عشان الوقت والله I have to make sure that we finish all the sections. Okay. Carbohydrate attached to membrane proteins serve as identification tags to identify any molecule. Okay, to enable cell to distinguish, is this molecule I need it, I want it to enter or not. If this molecule is harmful, if bacteria want to invade that cell, these carbohydrates are identification tags that help the cells to distinguish one type of cell from another or one type of molecule from another. Okay, cell membrane composed of two phospholipid layers, and it has a characteristic which is called semi-permeability, which is selectively permeable. That means some molecules come across the cell membrane while others cannot. Tamam? This is very important, you have to know it. Cell membrane selectively permeable, as you see. Selective permeability enables the cell to maintain homeostasis. Okay? It enables the cell to maintain homeostasis in spite of unpredictable changing conditions. Because the cell needs to maintain certain conditions, normal conditions inside. Now, chemical signals are transmitted across the cell membrane through what? Receptor. These receptors are proteins that detect a signal molecule and perform an action in response. Okay? It recognizes and binds to only certain molecules. For signals to be transmitted, there should be receptors. When receptors and ligand bind, they change shape, and this change is critical. It affects how a receptor interacts with other molecules. وزي ما قلنا هون احنا قلنا receptors bind with ligands. في عندي intracellular receptors like this one وعندي extracellular receptors like this one. هلا extracellular we don't call it extra, we call it membrane receptor because they are embedded in the membrane. Membrane receptor بيجي molecule that cannot cross the membrane. What will happen? It will bind to the receptor of this protein, and then it sends messages to the interior cell. This will change shape, okay, and result causes molecule inside the cell to respond. بالاكسترا هذا الممبرين ريسبتور. الانترا سيل ريسبتور يكون receptor inside. This molecule will be generally non-polar because polar molecules cannot cross the membrane alone. They need a transporter protein. Okay, so when the non-polar or small molecules will want to cross the cell membrane and find the receptor, this ligand will bind to the receptor of this protein, and this will result in response. action, okay, for a function to happen inside the cell. Okay, تمام. Any question about this part, guys? Okay, I want to take the attendance, then we will continue. Just 1 minute, please. بدي أشوف مين اللي ما عم بيحضر أنا. Every day I send the names for the Ustaz Ihab, and this will be يعني to inform your parents if you don't join the classes. هلا last section, which is diffusion and osmosis. This is يعني very احنا we study it very soon. Okay, we said that إنه الماتيريالز move across membrane because of concentration differences. If there is no concentration differences, the molecules cannot pass easily or move across the membrane easily. Now, we have different types of passaging or transporting. The first one is passive transport, which doesn't require energy input from the cell. What are the molecules that transported by this type of transport? What are the molecules? Yes, يا سديل.
لا ما عندي سؤال sorry.
طيب عبد العزيز, what are the molecules that pass by this type of transport, the passive transport, that they don't need energy? No, عبد العزيز. مين المولكيول؟
diffusion.
بس what type of molecules؟ يعني molecules that can pass by this way, what we call them? Like what? أعطيني example of molecules that can pass through the cell membrane by this way, passive transport. Murad?
Yes, I think small molecules like
Yes,
protein.
small و non-polar. لازم يكونوا non-polar. الpolar cannot pass through the tail here because the tail is non-polar. Okay, so small molecules and non-polar molecules. And molecules can move across the cell membrane through passive transport. There are 3 types of passive transport: diffusion, osmosis, and what? Let's start with diffusion. Diffusion, movement of molecules in a fluid or gas from region of high concentration to region of low concentration without requiring any amount of energy. Can go smoothly, pass smoothly. Concentration gradient on the difference in the concentration of substance from one location to another. If there is no difference, no diffusion happens. And we said molecules diffuse down their concentration gradient, means from high concentration to low concentration. As here the dye, when you put it in water, how it spread up, that's example of diffusion. Okay, and this is very important. Diffusion plays an important role in moving substances, small lipids, which is non-polar, and other non-polar molecules like carbon dioxide and oxygen easily diffuse by diffusion. Osmosis, movement also across the semi-permeable membrane from area of higher water concentration to an area of lower water concentration.
Facilitated diffusion.
Sorry?
The facilitated diffusion كمان passive transport.
Yes, bravo. This is the third type, the facilitated diffusion. And here, like here we have 3 types of solutions. We said we have isotonic, hypertonic, hypotonic, and when you say the type of the solution, you have to compare it to other types. Okay, so when you say isotonic outside, you compare it to the inside of the cell. Isotonic, they have the same concentration, so the movement of materials is balanced. Hypertonic, it has more concentration of dissolved particles, يعني less water. Hypotonic, more water and less dissolved particles. And the last type, by facilitated diffusion, برضه from high concentration to low concentration, but they need something to help them, to hold them, اللي هو transported protein. Okay, make it easier. It make like a channel for which makes it easier for large molecules to pass through it. Any question? Still here? Any question, guys? Okay. I wish you good luck in the exam. Study well. I will send you these summary sheets, all of them, on WhatsApp and on the school platform. See you and take care, guys.
Bye, miss.
Bye, miss. Take care.